Imagine sitting down for dinner tonight. Not pasta, not rice, not anything you would find in a kitchen. Tonight, you are eating an airplane. Not a toy airplane, not a model. A real full-sized aircraft made of metal, rubber, wire, and glass. And you are going to finish every single piece of it. This is not a joke. This is not fiction. This actually happened. And the man who did it became one of the most fascinating human beings who ever lived. This is the true story of Michel Lotito, the man who ate an entire airplane. Michel Lotito was born in 1950 in Grenoble, France. As a child, he seemed completely ordinary. He played in the streets of Grenoble like every other child. He went to school like every other child. But there was one thing about Michel that was not ordinary at all. When Michel was just 9 years old, he accidentally bit down on a piece of broken glass. Most children would scream, spit it out, and run to their mother. Michel did not. The glass did not hurt him. It did not cut his mouth. He chewed it and swallowed it. And for some reason, he did it again and again. His parents were horrified. Doctors were completely baffled. But Michel had discovered something extraordinary about himself. His body was fundamentally different from every other human being on Earth. When doctors examined Michel, they made a series of astonishing discoveries. His stomach lining was almost twice as thick as a normal human stomach. His intestinal walls were similarly reinforced, like armor plating on the inside of his body. His digestive acids were extraordinarily powerful, strong enough to dissolve metal shavings before they could cause any damage. In short, Michel Lotito had been born with a body that could eat things that would kill any other person on the planet. Doctors also determined that Michel had a condition called pica. Pica is a psychological disorder that causes people to crave non-food items like metal, glass, rubber, and soil. Most people with pica cannot safely consume what they crave. Michel was different. His unique biology meant he could not only crave these things, he could actually eat them. By the age of 16, Michel had decided to turn his extraordinary ability into a career. He began performing publicly under a stage name that perfectly described what he did. He called himself Monsieur Mangetout. In French, that means Mr. Eat All. His first performances were small, local clubs and bars in Grenoble. He would walk onto the stage, hold up a light bulb, crunch it between his teeth and swallow it. The audience would go completely silent. Then they would erupt. Nobody had ever seen anything like this. Word spread quickly. Soon he was performing across France, then across Europe, then internationally. Television shows in South America and Canada flew him in to perform. He became a genuine celebrity, not for singing, acting, or sport, but for eating things that should have killed him. Michel developed a very specific technique for consuming dangerous objects. He would use an electric power saw to cut large items into small, bite-sized pieces. He would not chew them. Instead, he would swallow them whole like pills. Before every performance, he would drink large quantities of mineral oil to lubricate his digestive system. He would also drink several liters of water to help everything pass through safely. He consumed approximately 900 grams of metal every single day at the peak of his career. That is nearly 1 kilogram of solid metal, eaten as casually as you might eat lunch. Remarkably, he almost never suffered any complications. He never vomited. He never bled internally. He never required surgery to remove anything. His extraordinary biology simply processed everything and moved it along. Over his career, Michel consumed an almost unbelievable list of objects. 18 bicycles, completely eaten. 15 supermarket shopping trolleys, completely eaten. 7 television sets, completely eaten. 6 chandeliers, completely eaten. 2 full-sized beds, completely eaten. A pair of skis, completely eaten. A computer, completely eaten. 100 razor blades, eaten in a single sitting. 2 plates and several glasses, consumed as appetizers. A coffin, including all the handles, completely eaten. In total over his career, Michel Lotito consumed more than 9 tons of metal. 9 tons. That is heavier than a full-grown elephant. All of it eaten and digested by one human being from Grenoble. But all of these achievements led to one single moment that would define his entire legacy. In 1978, Michel Lotito announced his most ambitious project yet. He was going to eat an entire airplane. Not a toy, not a scale model. A real Cessna 150, a small but fully functional aircraft used by flight schools around the world. The Cessna 150 is made of aluminum, steel, rubber tires, leather seats, plastic controls, wire, glass instruments, and various other components. Michel began systematically dismantling the aircraft using his power saw. Every day he would cut pieces from the plane: propeller, wings, fuselage, landing gear, seats, dashboard. Every day he would eat approximately 900 grams of the resulting pieces. Every day he would wash it down with mineral oil and water. Day after day, week after week, month after month. The project took 2 full years to complete. On the day in 1980, when Michel swallowed the final piece of the Cessna 150, the entire airplane was gone. He had eaten it, every gram of it. The Guinness Book of World Records took notice immediately. In 1984, Michel Lotito was officially recognized as having the world's strangest diet. The Guinness organization went to Grenoble to present him with a special commemorative award. They had crafted a beautiful brass plaque to honor his achievement. Michel accepted the plaque graciously. He examined it carefully. Then he ate it. The Guinness World Records Brass Award, presented to Michel Lotito for eating unusual objects, was itself eaten by Michel Lotito. Nobody was surprised. Michel Lotito continued performing until the end of his life. He remained in Grenoble, the quiet French city where it all began with a broken glass when he was 9 years old. He died on 25th of June 2007 at the age of 57, of natural causes. Not from anything he ate. His stomach outlasted everything he ever put inside it. To this day, not a single person has attempted to break his record. The Guinness World Records still lists the Cessna 150 airplane as consumed. Nobody wants to try. Michel Lotito did not ask to be different. He simply discovered at the age of 9 that he was. And instead of hiding it, he embraced it completely. He built an entire life and career from the one thing that made him unlike anyone else on Earth. He ate 9 tons of metal. He ate an airplane. He ate his own world record award. And through all of it, he remained a quiet, gentle man from Grenoble who simply loved to perform. If you found this story as extraordinary as we did, Curio Strike has a lot more where this came from. We cover the most mind-blowing true stories from around the world every single week. Hit subscribe and turn on notifications because you will not want to miss what is coming next. See you in the next one.